When I dream about Vista's future, what I'd love to see are support groups happening out of our church that really meet people's needs, whether it be for grief or for struggles in their marriage.
I want to see Vista as a church big enough that can help just the masses, but still have a small enough feel to be personal and care deeply about the people that they're helping.
Godly leaders are raised up who are giving leadership to different missional communities in Orlando, in Florida.
We are really the church in our neighborhoods.
I want to see Vista as the church whose vital presence in the community is evident not only in our surrounding communities, but around the world.
I see a multi-generational, multi-ethnic church caring for each other and pouring into the lives of its people.
My husband Murray and I were one of 45 people that came to start Vista Community Church. And we'd really never been involved in planting a church before, so we really didn't know what to expect. Most everybody that came was more than willing to use whatever talents or gifts that they had, and we sure had to use them all because there weren't very many of us. The church began to grow slowly, and I think one of the things that was most important about Vista when it started, and it still is now, is that we are and always have been a very, very warm and friendly church. In fact, my husband, one of his favorite things was to stand at the door and greet people when they came in. And he would always find out a little bit about them and what their interests were, and then he'd take them to somebody and that he thought they would be interested in knowing, and that made them sort of feel like, gee, somebody really cares about us. And so slowly but surely the church began to grow. In a small church, there are a lot of activities that you can't do because you just don't have enough people. For instance, we couldn't have a youth group because we didn't have any parents old enough to have kids that had teenagers. But now Vista has just grown so much. We have a group that's Vista Moms that are for moms that have toddlers and they have their own particular problems and they can relate to one another. We also have a group called the Ladies in the Slow Lane. And we're not really slow, but that's what they call us. And we meet about twice a month, and we're up to about 18 ladies now, and we have a grand time. In fact, Van's always hollering at us because we make too much noise. But we have a good time together, and we minister to each other with the needs that we have as older women, especially women without husbands anymore. And also, another great thing that we do now that we could never have dreamed we would have is our mission groups, when our teenagers go on mission trips, and it just helps them to grow in their walk and see how the rest of the world lives. And we also have Vista Serves, where we meet and go out and help people in the community with the needs that they have, even people who don't go to Vista, and also help those in our own group that need help. The most important thing I think about Vista is we're friendly. I've had so many people tell me, I have never gone to a church where people have been so friendly and just make me feel at home right away. And that's one of the important things about Vista. No matter how large the Lord allows us to get, we are a family. And I just pray that Vista will always be a place where people will feel safe and at home and feel welcomed.
I'm looking forward to see what God will do through this all-in giving project. As Vista's pastor, of course I'm excited about raising money to have more facility, more space for more people, but that's not really the end game for me. For me, this is an opportunity for us to have a spiritual experience. A giving campaign is a spiritual endeavor that causes us to stretch and grow and trust God, to seek Him, to hear Him, and to obey. We've done this now 2 times in the past, and this will be our 3rd time. Each time we've grown, we've expanded, we've gotten closer as a congregation. This is another opportunity for us to become the people God wants us to be. As we go all in together, we will experience what God's people have experienced for generations. Back in the Old Testament, when Moses took an offering to build a tabernacle, there was so much generosity that he had to tell the people to stop. They had more than enough. When David took an offering for the temple, the same thing happened. He was overwhelmed with God's generosity and with the people's generosity. And for Vista, it's been the same for us. When we have an opportunity to step up to the plate, we honor God with our giving, and God honors us by showing up and doing far more than we could ask or ever imagine.
lots of people.
How do I get involved?
People who understand their Bibles.
Living in God's love and sharing it.
Receiving hope.
Impacting people and introducing them to Jesus Christ.
Communities of believers reaching out to Southeast Orlando.
More outreach towards different ethnic groups.
I want a future so bright I have to wear shades.